where he was, the court setting, with a crown on his head, his generals around him, his soldiers with their swords, waiting to kill anyone that Yazid orders to kill. Of course, the sight was honor and pomp and show for Yazid and dishonor for the family of the Prophet. But is it true to interpret the Quran like that? No. Because he hasn't answered that verse. Again, a verse from the Quran saying that Zalimin, oppressors, should not take laurels on what we have extended them for. We have extended so that we punish them harshly and completely. In other words, if you are doing a misdeed and you see some goodness coming, it's not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with you, okay, or you are at the place of honor. You have been given an opportunity to sin more and more, okay, so that your eventual result is more disastrous. So, there were things like that crept into the tafsir of Quran. Then there was issue of revenge. Okay. Now, you didn't have the power and you were assaulted and insulted by others. Okay. Now you have the power. Take the revenge. Okay. Unfortunately, this also happened. Many of these incidents in the history that you see can be attributed to the revenge. As I said earlier in my first lecture, okay, something that's not called for, something that should be left to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bani Abbas, of course, quoted much more from their great-grandfather, Abdullah ibn Abbas. Why? Because he was a great-grandfather of theirs. And when they came into power, they made sure that whatever his was would remain superior to anyone else, no things. After Bani Abbas, then, another shows up. Now, those are in power who are against Bani Abbas. So now we would not accept from Bani Abbas and we talk about others. These and many other reasons, are the foundation of what you see as difference in opinions. On the other hand, when you talked about the maslak of Ahl Bayt, okay, about the Prophet's family, the differences are not that wide open, and they are not so much pronounced. One of the reasons being that those who narrated from the Prophet's family narrated through imams, and the chain was intact, number one. Number two, the tafsir from the Prophet's family highlighted a few things. One, there was nothing to be accepted that would run contrary to fundamental issues in Islam. Okay. Why is it so? Because if we accept things that are contrary to what fundamental basic beliefs of Islam are, then we are questioning Islam itself, isn't it? For example, the verse says that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, on the day of judgment, okay, He has put everything in the hell. Okay, and the hell asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, is there any more? Okay. So there's a tradition from one of the other sources that when appetite of hell would not be satisfied, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to put His foot there to satisfy them, to satisfy the hell. It's a tradition coming from the other sources, other Ahlul. The followers of Ahlul would not accept it. Why? Because we do not consider Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's existence to be physical in the forms of leg, hands and eyes and ears as a manifestation of human body. No. He doesn't have a leg to put in the hellfire. things like that crept in. False Ahlul did not accept those things. Okay? So aqaid were paramount. And when we discuss these traditions and these tafasirs, we'll inshallah, talk about things in slightly different, but these are the basic things that, were responsible for the chaos that you see in the literature of tafsir. As I told you earlier, in our last lecture, the closest time to the Prophet ﷺ is the time of the tafsir of Sahaba, and then of Tabi'in, and then of Tabi'in. But we don't have any written tafsir from those days present here today. One tafsir that they talked about is the tafsir of Abdullah ibn Abbas. It is present, but there are many opinions about whether it is Abdullah ibn Abbas' tafsir or not.
You're talking about historical documentation?
Yeah.
It's the only one that proves a documentation.
Well, since he was a companion of the Prophet, and he was the cousin of the Prophet also, so he has lived with the Prophet and with the companions. And there are many, many traditions through him in various literature, whether it's the literature regarding tafsir or hadith, narrations are there. So that one tafsir of Abdullah ibn Abbas, is debatable. Yes.
What is the position of the school of al-Bayt on Ibn Abbas?
It's debatable.
I read one hadith in Al-Kafi. It says that Ibn Abbas, he became blind because he said that he was Rasakhuna fil ilm, and an angel came and slapped him, he became blind.
Yeah, that tradition is there. I don't know how, to justify it, but yes, that tradition is there.
And also, you said that he is between him and Abdullah bin Mas'ud, there was some sort of...
Yeah, these were, as I said earlier, these were two, contemporary scholars who were opposed to each other. And the school of Makkah is the school of Abdullah ibn Abbas, and the school of Kufa is of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud.
Contemporary scholar, not back then between them two.
It happened, unfortunately, but there's a quote from Abdullah ibn Abbas that what I know of tafsir of Quran, I took from Ali ibn Abi Talib. And a similar quote also is from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. So, of course, you have people like, Ka'b, Ubay ibn Ka'b also, who were, Ubay ibn Ka'b was one who was of Jewish origin. He was in Medina. And many of the Israeli traditions are attributed to him and his associates. As a Israeliyat is something that, if you like, I can give you a whole lecture on Israeliyat, how it cut through, just not in passing as we do today. And to highlight many things, why we have so many problems in traditions, but it's there. That tafsir of the Abbas has two things that bother me. One is that Abdullah ibn Abbas's traditions, many of them, were later on misquoted, and what he dictated to his four companions. And one of them was Sayyid ibn Jubair, that I talked about earlier. Was later on expunged, for whatever reasons. It did not satisfy the, Abbasid rulers or whatever it was. So the whole question whether that tafsir is the original tafsir or not is debatable. Rather than, as far as ideology and aqidah is concerned. The other issue is that it contains many weak, traditions which are generally, contrary to our understanding of what Abdullah ibn Abbas's belief was. Two things. As we know what his belief was. This particular issue of him claiming to be Rasakhun fil ilm, is something that a man of his knowledge should not and would not have said. But if he has said that, he's on the wrong side.
How come there are so many traditions of him saying that?
Yes, they are there. But Sheikh Bahrani, who has worked on Kafi, has